We're not going to get very far with this, but you should probably read chapter 10. And this is what the chapter is about, basically. Proximate and ultimate causes of behavior. So, of course, proximate level changes, we talked about this before, they're the how things happen. What are the mechanisms behind it? Let's say immediate physiological changes and physical changes happening sometimes separately or simultaneously. And then, of course, the causes of why this male blue-cheeked bee eater produces vocalizations when communicating with other bees. Okay, so why is it doing this? I don't know why. I wonder what they sound like. Well, I'll have to look it up. Okay. Okay. I think I left off last with birds that duet. And there's these tropical wrens. In fact, most duetting occurs, it seems, in the tropics, primarily in kind of dense forests. And a duet, males and females sing to each other. And, well, I'll play it, but there's a couple different hypotheses for males and females to sing this way. And what are the functions of duets? Well, one of them is, let's say, the acoustic contact hypothesis. You know, I sing, you sing, we can communicate over a long distance. That's one of the benefits, actually, of song compared to visual signals. Visual signals, especially in a forest, they don't travel very far, obviously, they're going to get blocked. And certain sounds do the same thing, but in general, you can certainly hear sounds over a longer area. Another, of course, is territory defense hypothesis, pair bonding, and then mate guarding hypothesis. So sometimes another female might come in, and then the female that's part of that territory, that part of that pair bonded couple, then they're singing back and forth, you know, as like, oh, who is this, you know, terrible interloper that's trying to steal my man? Let's see here. That's the female initiating, then the male response. And then there's this one, which is their counter singing. So pretty fun. Now, I mentioned this earlier. Wrens, they don't really look like have gorgeous plumage, but the whole wren community, all the different species usually have very beautiful and involved songs. So they use song mainly for communicating instead of actually plumage. There's these tropical boo-boos, they actually sing a victory song. So what they did was, initially this started out with a field observation. They would see a pair of boo-boos with a territory. They'd see some interlopers, and then if they drove them off, they would hear the song. Now I tried to get the song, I couldn't find it anywhere. But they used this song after they'd driven the interlopers off as a kind of victory song. I wish I had an example of it, because I think it's pretty stunning. It's kind of like, when there's a war and, you defeat the enemy, and like the rebel yell back in the Civil War, something like that. Now, they actually tested this, whether there was actually this kind of victory song going on. These playbacks again, simulating a territorial dispute. 16 pairs won, and then 2 pairs lost. Only pairs that won sang the actual victory song, and the victory song was really distinctive. It's longer, louder, and sung from a higher perch, kind of proclaiming to everybody that, yeah, don't mess with us. Kind of like those sea eagles that did the cartwheeling business. They use a visual display and a physical display. These guys use mainly a song display. But there's probably obviously a visual aspect to it, because they go to a higher perch. So let's see, I think I've got a bunch of different ones.
Track 65, Blue Jay calls. Northern mockingbird mimicking blue jay.
And this is another one. Oh, hold on. Okay.
Track 66, killdeer calls.
We heard one of these at Malibu.
Northern mockingbird mimicking killdeer.
And then finally, some species are there we go.
Track 18, American robin high Z alarm calls. Tufted titmouse high Z alarm calls. Black-capped chickadee high Z alarm calls. Track 19, blue jay mobbing calls. House wren mobbing calls. Tufted titmouse mobbing calls.
Sounds like a nuthead. So I want you to picture an owl sitting in the forest during the daytime, and not just one species, but a whole bunch of different species all around it, mobbing it with all their different calls, and then dive bombing it. They hate owls for some reason. I don't think owls will give songbirds salutes too often, but anyway, they also do it to other predators as well. So they really give them hell. What's really funny is sometimes you'll see small songbirds chasing like big hawks and eagles. I don't know if you've seen that. In fact, I've seen hummingbirds, like a heat-seeking missile, right up their butts. And they're very fast, and the hawk, is looking around, what's going on here, and it's terrified, and it's hilarious. So there's all these birds that do that to predators, obviously, if you don't like predators, and occasionally predators eat you, so if you can put them in a bad situation, it's pretty common. And let's see, I think there's one more that I want to do. Let's see. Okay.
This is Bird Note. Like a jazz player beating out a drum roll, a woodpecker uses its bill to rap out a brisk series of notes. Early spring resounds with the percussive hammering of woodpeckers. Their rhythmic drumming works like many birds' songs. It broadcasts to other woodpeckers over a long distance a clear assertion of territorial and mating rights. We also hear woodpeckers knocking on wood when they're carving holes in trees to create nest cavities or extract insect prey. But these whacks are more methodical. Woodpeckers in the West offer a fascinating cast of different drummers. A hefty, pileated woodpecker lets go a resounding tattoo against a hollow trunk. A red-breasted sapsucker seems to be signaling in Morse code as it snaps its bill against a stub of dead branch. And a Williamson sapsucker bangs out a triple drum roll. For any woodpecker, it's all about proclaiming a sound signal as far and as loud as possible. And as it searches for the most resonant drum, it might just find that your metal rain gutter makes the best music. For BirdNote, I'm Michael Stein.
And this is a ruffed
Track
grouse.
13. Ruffed grouse drumming.
These are chicken-like birds. Okay. Now, oh, those grouse, by the way, are the dumbest birds out there. They're really dumb, especially a ruffed grouse. You can actually almost walk up to them and hit them with a rock. I don't know how it is that they're not extinct, but they're not. But they're really just, it's amazing that, well, they're related to turkeys and chickens, and of course, chickens aren't necessarily very dumb. Turkeys are kind of dumb, but not wild turkeys. So, anyway, you get the idea. I've got a bunch of questions that I've kind of put up that you can start thinking about. They might be questions kind of like I might put on the exam. I have some other questions that I'll be putting up as well for stuff that we've covered, kind of simple questions. And then some definitions, but, there'll be simple definitions like, what's age-limited learning or in birds or something like that. And as I mentioned, most of the test is going to be short answer and then one long essay, and then 10 points for multiple choice. So the essay is worth 25, 35, 65 points for the short answer. There'll be like, I guess, 88 of them or something like that. Okay? So you guys should be fine. I'll start putting up these other things today, and we'll see where we go. But if you have any questions, you can email me. You can, like I said, you can put it on the student forum for the rest of the class. Those posts actually count for your weekly. So, you say, I don't understand. He didn't make himself clear what he's talking about as far as alarm calls. I didn't get that, or whatever. So you can, help each other out. And that's what we're going to do. After the test, I guess we'll probably, we'll see. Well, that's right, we're going to have to do something, I guess, after the test. But I'll give you guys extra time on the test anyway. So we'll probably bleed over into the field studies part. In fact, maybe we'll even do another discussion, because there's some papers that we haven't done that in a while, so we'll see. Okay? That's all I got. You guys have any questions? No? Then you're free. You can have a victory song now. Okay?